I never find somebody? You'll see, you guys are all gonna go off and get married, and I'm gonna end up alone. I'm gonna end up alone, just like he did.
I would like to be remembered as somebody who lived well, loved well, was a seeker, and his paramount thing is that he wants to help people.
Well, we're gonna figure this out.
The loss of Matthew Perry still feels unreal. When you watch a show too many times, it feels like you know the characters personally, like they're your friend from school or something. We have this space in our heads where we keep our most favorite characters forever, like they're still going on with their life even if the show ended. We all feel like Chandler is happily living with Monica and their kids somewhere in the universe. And of course, Joey finishing the big turkey at their home every Thanksgiving. Like many of you, I too am one of those people. I'm making this video to celebrate the life and career of a truly remarkable individual, a man whose talent and charisma have graced our screens for decades, a man whose name is synonymous with wit, humor, and unforgettable performances. Today, we pay tribute to the one and only Matthew Perry. In today's video, I'll cover the remarkable life of Matthew Perry, from his childhood struggles to his insane stardom to his struggle with substance abuse. It's not the quantity but the quality of life you live that matters, and I can say for certain that Matthew did live a remarkable life. His life was a redemption arc. It also taught us a very valuable lesson that money and fame isn't everything, and you can lose it all in one instance. But Matthew fought till the end. He didn't give up on himself. So this is Matthew Perry, Draw My Life.
It's not fair. It's not fair that I had to go through this disease while the other 5 didn't. They got everything that I got. But I had to fight this thing and still have to fight this thing.
Matthew's full name is Matthew Langford Perry. He was born on August 19, 1969 in Williamstown, Massachusetts, to Suzanne and John Bennett Perry. His mother, Suzanne Perry, was a Canadian journalist and press secretary to the Prime Minister of Canada, while his father, John Bennett Perry, was an American actor and model. Matthew had the perfect golden parent, but it all fell apart. His parents separated when he was only a year old, and both his parents remarried. He had step-parents and step-siblings, but from his childhood he felt lonely. He felt like he didn't belong anywhere. His parents moved on with their new family and he was left alone. He was raised by his mother, mostly in Ottawa. He used to say that with his mother's busy schedule, he often felt left out.
And my mother walking in, and I was like 5 feet behind her, and all I wanted was for her to turn around and, you know, focus on me and like be with me. You took me. And
by the age of 10, Matthew started misbehaving. He stole money, smoked, let his grades slip, and beat up fellow student and future Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Matthew's life took a bad turn when he began drinking alcohol at the age 14, and he was drinking every day by age 18. He was addicted even before he was 18. He used drinking as a means to fill the void inside him, but it didn't help. He kept on sinking.
And I drank the entire bottle and lay in the ground and looked at the skies and just felt better than I ever had in my entire life. And I thought to myself, this is probably what normal people feel like all the time. As I was like 18, 19, 20, then it really started to kick in. I was drinking every night. It was a secret.
Despite all this, Matthew practiced tennis, often for 10 hours per day, and became a top-ranked junior player in Canada with the possibility of a tennis career. However, at the age of 15, he moved from Ottawa to Los Angeles to live with his father, and competition there was tougher. At 15 years old, Perry studied acting at Buckley School in Los Angeles and graduated in 1987. While in high school, he took improvisational comedy classes. It was during these years that he discovered his passion for acting and comedy. After moving to LA, Matthew started auditioning for different roles, and luckily he got small roles on different shows.
Hi, good afternoon, Miss Pembroke. I'm Mr. Pembroke. Nice to meet you. I'm Ed Staling, Princeton man and a neurosurgeon. I'd like to follow in his footsteps. Welcome to the family.
He was struggling during this period, doing small roles, earning little money. He was constantly drinking during this period, and he was spending most of his money on drinking. Finally, the script for the show Friends Like Us started making rounds. When Matthew first read the script, he realized that the character Chandler Bing was him in real life.
Then a script called Friends Like Us started to make its way around the people. I was like, I am this guy. I am Chandler. You got to get me in to audition because I'll get it because he talks exactly like I do.
He wanted this role badly, but at that moment, he was tied to a different pilot called LAX 2194. So he wasn't able to audition for the role. He started helping his friends crack the role because he felt like he was Chandler. Finally, the pilot he was tied to got rejected, and he was asked to audition for the role of Chandler Bing. Matthew was perfect for the role. He brought in a certain charm to the role for which the casting team loved him, and finally he got the role for Chandler, which changed his life forever. Matthew was the last actor hired for Friends. He was also the youngest member of the main cast at age 24. Friends went on to becoming one of the most successful and beloved television shows in the history of the medium. Friends premiered in 1994 and continued for 10 seasons until 2004. Despite ending nearly 2 decades ago, the show maintains a dedicated and ever-expanding fan base. It's transcended generations, remaining popular with viewers of all ages. Matthew did an outstanding job portraying Chandler. He got everything he prayed for: money, car, big house with a pool. But even after achieving all the fame and success in the world, he was still feeling empty inside. His addiction continued during the filming of Friends. He managed to hide his addiction from everyone, at least for some time. He was filled with shame and guilt because he wasn't able to stop. It was consuming him from the inside. Matthew made a rule that he wouldn't drink or take anything during the shooting period. He managed to consistently show up on time. He was good at his job, but sometimes he was so hungover that he was shaking and it was hard for him to even stand. While shooting, he started putting his hands on sofa or chair to help him stand properly. Slowly, it got worse. Jennifer Aniston and some other cast member confronted Matthew about his addiction.
We didn't know. We weren't equipped. Nobody had ever dealt with that. And, the idea of even losing him.
And he was so scared that people found out. Eventually, Matthew got some help. However, he became addicted to Vicodin after a jet ski accident in 1997, and he completed a 28-day rehab program at the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation that year. His weight dropped as low as 128 pounds, and he took as many as 55 Vicodin pills per day. At the age of 30, he suffered from alcohol-induced pancreatitis. In May 2000, he was admitted to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. He was at the peak of his success, but secretly he was fighting with his inner demons. In 2002, he made a resolute effort not to drink on the set of Friends. But during the later seasons of the series, he was frequently drunk or high on set. His castmates made efforts to help him, even staging an intervention, but were unsuccessful. In February 2001, Perry paused productions of Friends for 2 months so that he could enter inpatient rehabilitation for his addictions to Vicodin and alcohol. He later revealed that due to his substance use disorder, he didn't remember 3 years of the period when he was acting on Friends. It's absolutely crazy when you think about it. All the money in the world and all the fame, but he wasn't able to live it because of his substance abuse. He felt immense shame and guilt in that period. In many interviews, he mentioned that he knew clearly what he was doing. He wasn't dumb, but it was like a disease.
They're not weak. We're not weak. I'm a pretty strong, resilient guy. But it has nothing to do with weakness. It's a disease that we have, and we don't know that we have it.
Without external help, he wasn't able to stop it. Matthew didn't like watching Friends because it reminded him all the substance abuse he was doing at the time, so it's very hard for him. In 2018, Matthew spent 5 months in a hospital for a gastrointestinal perforation. During the hospital stay, Perry nearly died after his colon burst from opioid abuse. He spent 2 weeks in a coma and used a colostomy bag for 9 months. Upon being admitted to the hospital, doctors told his family that Perry had a 2% chance of survival. He was connected to a machine which does his breathing for him. 4 more patients were connected to a similar machine that night, only Matthew survived.
Alcoholism wants you alone, it wants you sick, and then it wants to kill you.
But he didn't stop here. 2 years later, while attending rehab in Switzerland, Perry faked pain to get a prescription for 1,800 milligrams of OxyContin per day and was having daily ketamine infusions. He was given propofol in conjunction with a surgery, which stopped his heart for 5 minutes. The resulting cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, resulted in 8 broken ribs. He paid $175,000 for a private jet to take him to LA to get more drugs. When doctors refused there, Perry spent another $175,000 to take a private jet back to Switzerland. In 2022, he estimated that $9 million was spent on his addiction, including 14 stomach surgeries, 15 stays in rehab, and therapy twice a week for 30 years. Perry also asserted that he had attended approximately 6,000 Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. It was a very long and hard battle. In 2022, Matthew Perry wrote a book called Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, a roughly 260-page expansion of his reunion revelation that lays out just how hard and how long Perry struggled. During this time, he said that he was sober from the last 18 months, means up until 2021 he was dealing with his addiction. He was constantly fighting his inner demons. It was a very hard journey filled with regrets and guilt. Sadly, on October 28, 2023, Matthew Perry was found unresponsive in his hot tub at his home in Pacific Palisades, Los Angeles, and was later pronounced dead. He was 54.
The shocking news overnight about the death of actor Matthew Perry, the Friends star who famously played Chandler Bing, passing away at 54 years old.
LAPD said the cause of death may not be known for some time, but at this point, foul play is not suspected. Cause of death is still not confirmed. It's being suggested as drowning, but we still need to wait for the official statement. When you think about it, even after getting all his dreams come true, Matthew Perry still struggled to fill the void in his heart. He wasn't able to enjoy his fame, his money, or his success because of his addiction. But he tried and fought as long as he can. And he wrote a book to help people who are going through the same situation. It's going to be very hard from now on to watch Friends, but we'll always remember that this friend left a mark on our heart. Rest in peace, legend.